What's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to go over why I bought a manual transmission and not an automatic transmission for my third gen 2017 Toyota Tacoma in the off-road package. So essentially, some background on why I chose what I chose is that I had a 2013 Sports Edition Tacoma in an automatic transmission, and then when I went to go upgrade, I drove both the automatic and the manual. So at first, I wasn't entertaining the idea of a manual transmission, but after driving the automatic, I realized that I did not like the gearing and it felt very sluggish compared to my 2013. So Toyota ended up going from the 4-liter engine down to the 3.5-liter engine, and I think that there was some loss in power with that and then some trouble with the delivery. So I chose to opt for the manual transmission because I wanted to be able to control when the truck shifted and how it felt as it accelerated, and I did not want to leave that up to the Toyota software for the transmission. So I'm going over a few reasons why I personally chose the manual transmission. You might not agree with what I say, but these are the reasons. So the first reason being better fuel economy. So some of you might ask, well, how do you know what an automatic gets versus a manual? Well, it just so happens that my buddy and I bought the same exact truck. His is a sports edition, mine's an off-road, but his is an automatic. And you might say, oh, well, you have a 3-inch lift and 285 tires. Well, we have the same setup. So I'm going to say what he gets for gas mileage, which is 14.5 to 15 miles a gallon. And then for me, I'm averaging about 18.5 and 19.5. And when I'm on the highway, I could get up to 20 miles per gallon, which I would say that's pretty good for a 3-inch lift with 285 tires. And also, that's not taking into consideration the circumference difference between the stock tires and the 285 tires. So that probably means that I'm getting close to about 21 miles to a gallon, which is pretty good, and it correlates with what Toyota thinks that these Tacomas are getting. Now, I am a very conservative driver in the way that if I'm going about 40 miles an hour, I'll put it all the way into 6th gear and ride it out. And then I'll coast with it out of gear, and then I'll let the truck slow itself down. The next reason being more on-road and off-road control. So you might say that, well, manuals, they roll back. Well, that's pretty much determined on how well you know when you're clutching gauges and how well you know how to drive a manual. When I'm off-road, now that Toyota has created the clutch cancel, which is when you could turn off the car, put it in 1st gear, and start it, and the starter actually rolls the truck forward so you don't roll back. Now that's kind of eliminated the connotation when it comes to manual transmissions and rolling back when you're off-roading or getting yourself kind of in a stickier situation that you're already in. So I do feel comfortable driving this truck off-road and on-road in the manual transmission because I have the ultimate connectivity to this truck because I'm choosing when it shifts. If I want to accelerate really fast, I could leave it in 1st. If I want to continue accelerating fast, I will take it to a little bit below red line in 1st and shift to 2nd, versus the automatic transmission might be a little laggy. Now that I've moved into the city, I've noticed that there's a lot more criminal activity in the city, a lot more break-ins, and I think that driving a manual transmission vehicle actually deters thieves because less and less people know how to drive manual transmissions. So this isn't the primary reason why I bought it, but it is an advantage of having a manual transmission is that somebody's less likely to steal it. The fourth advantage on why I bought a manual transmission kind of relates to the first and second reason, as you could use engine braking. So you could downshift when you come to a light, you could leave it in gear for longer, and all in all, this saves the life of your brakes and calipers and the drum brakes in the rear. So that's one advantage. So you won't have to replace your rotors and pads very often, but that all in all saves you money. Talking about finances with this vehicle, you're going to see manual transmission Toyota Tacoma an average of $1,000 less than an automatic transmission, which is good in the case if you want package, like for example, what I'm driving is a 2017 Toyota Tacoma with the tech package, off-road package. It's got the sunroof and then rear painted bumper, and I was able to get that $1,000 less than I saw available on the market strictly because this was a manual transmission truck and I was also looking for a manual transmission truck. So it worked to my advantage. Next reason is manual transmissions are actually cheaper to maintain than automatic transmissions. When you've owned a car for a long period of time, the first thing to go usually is the automatic transmission versus a manual, which you have to replace the clutch. But as far as maintenance, you simply have to drain it, refill it, so it's very low upkeep and very cheap to maintain. And the last reason being, manual transmission vehicles are becoming rarer and rarer to come by. So the percentage of Tacomas that are produced with a manual transmission is 10 to 15%. So as the years go on, more rare and more hard to find, therefore retaining the value of the truck more than an automatic transmission. These reasons are why I bought a manual transmission Toyota Tacoma. Again, you might agree with what I say. I hope this is helpful for all the viewers. If you're viewing this video, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions outside of what I've talked about, please comment below as I get to every comment that I see